टेक केयर यार, डोंट वरी, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. ज्यादा ओवर रिएक्ट मत कर. एवरीबडी इज गोइंग थ्रू दिस. You are not the only one. How many times have these dialogues been thrown your way when you shared your lockdown restlessness with someone? This sudden change has taken a toll on all of us in some way or the other. Yes, we are together in this, but everyone's journey is different. इस प्रॉब्लम को एड्रेस करने के लिए आज हमारे साथ एक ऐसी हस्ती है who will teach us to fight our storms within us. इनके पास 83 years का एक्सपीरियंस है. जी हाँ, 83, पर साथ में 16 साल का दिल भी है. Hello and welcome, Mrs. Pratima Havaldar, a renowned psychologist and counselor with an amazing experience of more than 4 decades of dealing with thousands of patients from all over the world. She is resilient, she is relevant, and she can help you make peace with the new normal. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking time out of your busy schedule for us. हम सबके पास ढेर सारे सवाल हैं इस लॉकडाउन के लिए. And this lockdown is surely driving us crazy. So let's just jump in. So my first question to you is, हम सबकी लाइफ बहुत बदल गई है. नया रूटीन, नया लाइफस्टाइल, नए social rules, everything is new. In this new normal, there is a major part of staying home and social distancing. So my question is, एक टाइम था जब मैं और मेरे सारे कॉलीग्स को ऐसा लगता था वर्क फ्रॉम होम मिल जाए तो बेस्ट है. बट टुडे जब हमारी ये रियलिटी है, it's very difficult. Why is this making us so restless, and how can we deal with it?
It is always, no? It's a human nature. We grumble what we do not have, and we do not appreciate what we have. है ना, ऐसे ही है जिंदगी. हमें लगता है जैसे मुझे चाहिए वैसे ही होना चाहिए. उसमें थोड़ा बदल कोई दूसरे करते हैं तो नहीं अच्छा लगता, क्योंकि उसके साथ मिलना जुलना ये कुछ सीधी बात नहीं है ना, आसान बात नहीं है. That's why this is always going to be a trouble. But at present, it is not in a simple way. It has become, I mean, you cannot make out. Everybody is going through. All over the world, we are going through. And yet, though we belong to this world, we belong to a community, we belong to a family, yet we have our own individuality. That's why we look at it in a different way. Some of us get more disturbed. Some of us feel it as a challenge. Some of us look at others and try to do the same. This is bound to happen, right? All of us have the same needs. The physical, the social, emotional, intellectual needs. लेकिन अभी ऐसे कि only intelligence is not going to solve. I mean, we are not going to write something. We are not only going to discuss. We have to act on it. And मेरे ख्याल से वहाँ ही मुश्किल शुरू है. क्या करूँ, क्यों करूँ, कैसे करूँ, ये जब सवाल है ना, इससे पूरी मुसीबत होती है और हर एक के लिए ये अलग अलग है.
That's so true. So tell me one thing. During this lockdown, what is the one common problem that you have noticed amongst your patients?
मेरे प्रैक्टिस में I do more on the relationship counseling. That is marital counseling, parent-child counseling, personality differences, way of looking at life is different. They are finding it difficult. They are together, but yet they are together because they have to be together. And they are finding it difficult because when you are together, you converse in different ways, no? Not necessarily through words and all. But they do not know. They have never learned that. On the contrary, they don't like it. And again, our socio-economic differences are so much. Some have big places, they still continue being themselves. But there are places where 15, 16 people are staying. That's why there is no choice at all. That's why then there are a lot of difficulties, more difficulties. You know, Nidhi, I personally feel there are two ways. For some, it is a difficulty of physical survival. And for some, it is an emotional survival. We cannot have saying a blanket thing for everyone, but feeling lonely because we want people to be around. Some of us want to connect to people. Some of us want to relate to people. Some of us want to see people, and seeing people on screen, which social media is doing, what you and me are doing right now, is a need, but that's not sufficient, right?
But then, Abhi, what is happening is everybody is at home, and everybody's trying to scratch that one social need that they all have
Yeah.
through always trying to be online and continuously being there on social media. Do you think that is taking a toll on their mental health?
I don't know whether it is taking toll on the mental health, but it is not sufficient. Social media itself is not going to solve the problem. And I see another danger also, the news which we hear, conversation which we do, at times so casual. That's why the impact on it may not be immediate. I mean, when the jokes come on social media, for a second you feel nice, but that is not sufficient for you to live on. I mean, that we all have our own individual needs. The mental health is in the mind, and mind is also in the head, which we can't forget. That's why what we feel and what you think, there is a definite silken thread there. That's why whenever we are bombarded with numbers, statistic is very important when you are dealing financially, when you are working on project. But when statistic is bombarded, you get worried because you really do not understand the real meaning. To be very frank, the death and how many survive, where do we see that difference? There are so many who are, in spite of all this, are coming back, getting better. But somehow that gets shadowed. कान में जो सुना है, आंखों से जो देखा है, वो भीतर जो जाता है, वो नंबर्स ज्यादा डिस्टर्बिंग है, क्योंकि वहां जल्दी से सोचना नहीं आता है, सिर्फ सुनना आता है ना.
But so, is there a healthy dose of social networking? Like, करना चाहिए, but कितना?
In a sense, I think I will repeat the word. It should not be bombarded. सोशल मीडिया है, इसलिए उसका इस्तेमाल करते हैं. Whatever is in life, how do you use it is important. That's whether the absence of social media is also not good. But how do we use it? And I always feel there has to, I won't use the word direction, but there also has to be some control on social media. Because who listens to it, who thinks about it, who acts on it, and who ponders on it, again becomes individual. Like individually, when I have to do counseling using all this social media, I don't know whether it is successful or not, how it reaches the patient. But at my end, that satisfaction is not there. When I'm talking at my individual level. When I see the person now, just now also I'm seeing you, but I see your smile, I see your nodding. But when I see you in person, I can notice lot of minor things which screen doesn't always give. That is also missing. Relate and connect. These are the two different things. And connecting cannot be ordered. The words can relate, words can give you information, words can give you suggestion. But how another person interprets is the very individual choice, isn't it?
It's so funny that nowadays social media there's this new fad that has come up. You know, it's a so-called productivity competition. Like, for example, कौन बनेगा pandemic chef is going on. like एक race लगी हुई है जो लोगों में नई skills build करने के लिए, it's pushing them. And somehow it has become like a peer pressure instead of being constructive, and that's kind of weird.
Nidhi, I won't blame the people. Any new toy, everybody wants to handle, right? And the social media has so many dimensions.
Yeah.
It has gone beyond like also, beyond emojis also. It's a human nature to try new thing, experiment new thing. When I'm using the word control, I do not mean control only by the external. unless we enjoy something else, we won't leave social media. I mean, I'm talking in general. That's a, unless we take interest. I mean, flexibility, whether when and how much I should use social media, for what I should use social media, by itself, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But for what I use, how much I use, is that become equal to my entire life? That matters.
True. That's so
Yeah.
true.
No, I personally feel since we are at home, there was a routine in our life, whether you're working or whether you are not working, whether you were housewife or whichever level you were working. Personally, I felt somewhere our schedule of day, we need not put it on paper, because when you go to office it's on paper at what time you go, at what time you leave. But there has to be some internal scheduling and the readiness for the flexibility of the life, because it's a new door which has opened and it's likely to remain for a longer time. Let's mentally be prepared for this new style of our living. Has to be done intellectually, knowingly, and how to do it is individual has to have some schedule. The rest, all our needs, the physical needs, the social needs. Throughout the day, you can't sit together and talk and have games and some individual time also. And each one's need are different. That's I would feel in a daily life also, for whoever is the individual, whatever may be the age, there has to be some scheduling, internal scheduling, which will keep us level headed for the time.
And that actually answered my next question, which was
Yeah.
that, we are all together here as a family, but we're not used to each other. We are, I mean, the people are going crazy staying at home because privacy nahi hai, work life balance kaise kare, pata nahi. Pehle pehle bahut acha laga. And then now it's, there are clashes and they don't know how to handle this. It's getting weirder day by day.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it is like I never had time for what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I have lot of time, but I don't know what to do. This is what is going on. And somebody else can't tell you what you should do. I mean, a lot of suggestions are coming. Uh, Being active in what you like and following it is the only way. See, because we are bound to be anxious. Apparently, whatever we may show, intellectually, whatever we may put it on paper, but it's a matter of survival, and we all want to live. I mean, whatever is the age, whatever may be the sickness, or most of us want to live. And there is a question mark. We don't know what to do to save ourselves. And that is at the back of the mind continuously. That's why the laughter is artificial. Being together is also, that's why you don't get absorbed in it. We are using it more as a technique. But I personally feel this will also happen. I'm quite optimistic about how people change. When villagers come to city, now we are seeing they want to go back because they remember it. It is not only because they they want to be there, but they have some good past memories, and also again the survival that are there. If I go back, I will have. I mean, beyond physical needs, when we start talking, all these social needs, we are social animals. Very few of us would love to be only alone. Some of us love to talk, some of us love to listen, and some of us do not like talking at all, but majority like. That's why life is for majority.
Right. So, if you had to give a message to our listeners, what would that be? Some life lessons.
I'm not a person who has the right to give message to people, but I would only feel that we have a right to lead our life, and rather than getting worried, rather than getting pessimistic. If we look back, these days would also do. And rather than believing that this would remain always there, whether a new vaccine would come and all, so we will have to find out what makes me happy and pursue it, whatever others might say. I mean, you can read a lot, but follow what you feel comfortable and what you enjoy. And I'm very sure you told me about my year, which is 3 years more than what you have said. But
Okay.
I want to leave and I would leave. Why can't we look at the sky, which has become so clear? And what can I not think about what more I can do as soon as these days are over to keep that sky as clean as what I'm seeing today? That's what I would feel.
That's
Let us
awesome.
concentrate on what I can do rather than, oh my God, now what can I do? This is what, I mean, I won't call it a message, but this is what I have decided for my life.
That's utterly inspirational. I would love to follow that, and I would urge all our listeners to follow that one day at a time and just do what you love, and it won't feel like a lockdown. So, thank you so much, ma'am, for guiding us so well. We're sure these pointers will help all of us deal with the problems, not just in the lockdown, but throughout our life, and will also help us see the brighter side of the new normal. Also, a big thank you and shout out to our listeners for sticking through this entire series. We hope you enjoyed our podcast and benefited from it. और अगर आपके पास कोई health and wellness related सवाल है जो आप पूछना चाहते हैं तो do let us know in the comments section and we will make sure to include it in the next season. Until then, stay home, stay safe. Better days are just around